Hey everyone, this is a update to last week's video. I did a little bit more time and work, and I finally got that umbrella finished. You can see it goes up and down, just like a normal umbrella, and I think it turned out pretty well. You can see I even took the time to decorate it. It's got these nice, pretty flowers on it, and it's not the most waterproof thing in the world, but I mean, I think it looks pretty nice. I'm just messing with you. It sat here in kind of a heap for at least the past week. I have not touched it at all. In fact, I think there was actually some bugs living in those sticks from my little collection. I had been finding a couple of ants scattered around here, so I might have ants living inside those pieces of wood. Where are you at? Anyway, I have, however, been doing some studying, specifically with regard to the human skeleton, and combined with the little tiny paper umbrella I showed you over there, I think I might have some basic idea of what I did wrong. Now, rather than continue on the same thing from last week, I think I'm going to try to cobble together something equally useful, but a little bit more varied. I'm thinking maybe a nice pair of sandals or something. I think that seems doable. I know just where to get some material, and I'm pretty confident that I might be able to actually find some. I'm gonna go do that now. Well, that was kind of dumb. I suppose I probably shouldn't have waited until rush hour to go out and try and look for something. I did find this, though. I think I might be able to work with this. My basic idea is to take some of this cardboard, layer it up in however many sheets, form it to some kind of boot or shoe shape, and then attach it to my foot with some kind of rope or whatever I've got available. Your situation might be different, so just use whatever you've got. I'm just doing a little bit of planning ahead of time. I'm contemplating what sort of consequences might happen with various designs. And one thing that comes to mind is the idea of where to run these whatevers through the sole of the shoe. If you've ever worn a pair of flip-flops or sandals like that, you have probably had the experience where after some time the attaching thing will just pull apart from the sole of the shoe, and you're left with this useless flappy piece of foam or whatever. So I'm trying to figure out how to plan around that and actually avoid it if I can. My main train of thought right now is avoiding these. Let me get a pointer. Oh wait, I have a finger. My main idea is to avoid these points of friction or stress, which is specifically the heel and the ball of the foot. And since those are going to be bearing most of the weight, those are going to have most of the stress and the wear on the underside of the shoe. That being said, I want to try to avoid having my attaching twine or rope in those areas. And I've generally marked those areas out in this very crude stencil of my right foot. You can see in the ball area as well as the heel, I've marked these no-go zones. So I'm going to have to figure out some way I can attach some rope around this pattern so that it does not end up going underneath the shoe in any of these areas. Let's see what I can come up with. I got these two pieces cut out, and I think these are going to make the rough shape of the outline of my shoe. I opted to go for more of a boot kind of idea. And the reason for that was with so much area in the heel being covered and exposed to a lot of stress and pressure and a lot of wear on the ground, I didn't think I would have a whole lot of room to attach any sort of lashing or rope or whatever to actually affix it to my foot. With this little bit of extra heel or whatever it's called, I don't know the correct term for it. This little part that hangs off the heel and curves upward will go along the backside of the ankle, and hopefully that should give me some extra surface area that I can run some rope through that won't be in danger of getting stepped on and worn to pieces. You can see where I've drawn a general outline of the template foot that I cut out. Let me show this one that's a little bit better. Yeah, here you can see a general shape of the template that I've drawn. All this little squiggly stuff will get cut off. And I opted to put it on this side where it's at right now because of this little folded seam right here. This should hopefully give some extra strength to the bond between these two strips of cardboard, in addition to the glue that's already in underneath there. Unfortunately, that means my pinky toe is going to be hanging off in this little empty spot, but hopefully that shouldn't be that big of a deal. Well, I've gotten one foot done so far. I think it looks pretty nice. It took a little bit of hacking and hewing to get it out. I'm kind of curious as to what I'm going to do with all these little pieces of scrap, as well as the remainder of this large chunk. I don't know. Guess we'll find out. I will just go ahead and continue whittling this thing out. And at that point, I will start where did it go? I lost my string. Oh, it's right here in front of me. At that point, I will start attaching my string. I know it's uncool to wear socks with sandals, but I think as far as a test fit goes, these are pretty nice. It feels like it's on there pretty solidly. I definitely feel like I could walk around pretty comfortably. This toe loop is not quite tight just yet, but I think I could probably fix that up. So yeah, there's one down. I'll go get started on number 2. And I'm getting the second one done. I thought I'd go ahead and explain real quick what I decided to do. This wasn't really based off of any sort of, I don't know, official technique or whatever. This is really just an idea that I thought of and I wanted to try out. So we've got the main foot here. We've got the heel. No, excuse me. Got the underside of the foot with the heel and then up the back of the ankle. The arch is where the rope is going to cross and really provide most of the pulling force that will actually pull the shoe onto the foot. I also decided to put it here not just because it was out of the way of the main stress points, you know, with the ball and the heel, but it also kind of seemed like it was in more or less the area of the center of gravity of the foot. So I thought it would suspend pretty balanced like. So what I started off with in terms of a wrap technique, I folded a piece of rope in half. I ran the rope in between the toes, kind of like a flip-flop. I then double backed and had the same rope run across the entire set of toes. Following the rope back, I have it go through these two sides, which are on either side of the arch of the foot. They then cross underneath for kind of a pulling, supporting function, I guess. They then come around to the top side of the shoe, where they would cross atop the ankle, so your foot would actually sit in here, and then it would also fit under this this toe wrap. I don't know if you can't see that. Kind of like that. You could arguably put your feet under here for extra support if you wanted to. Kind of like a traditional flip-flop. Continuing from the top of the ankle, the ropes wrap around the back to this back of ankle support, where they then go through these two holes, come around the front, and now you're left with these loose ends that you can just tie like a regular shoe. This one in particular has a little bit too short of loose ends, so I don't know if I'm really going to be able to tie a knot on this shoe. But hopefully that's enough information to kind of give you a basic idea. So if for some reason you ever have to cover your feet or other body parts with pieces of trash, I hope this is some benefit to you.
Is that not styling or what? I stepped in an avocado.